Hello lovely people, it's that time of year that we all love, thought bubble time.
Doobie 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 doo. Doobie 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 Sophie Vlogs.
The weekend of the 22nd of September, if I am getting my dates correct, was Thought Bubble Festival up in Leeds. If you're not familiar with Thought Bubble, it is wonderful. It is a comic festival that happens each year. I've gone for the last 3 years with my friend, and we went again. This was our third. I'm going to briefly talk about my experience of the festival this year, and then I'll show you all of the fabulous things that I got. So I had a really good time. Again, I always have a really good time. This year was the first year where it's moved venue. Previously, Thought Bubble took place by the Royal Armoury Museum, and it was all sort of self-contained in one block. Whereas this year, because it's got a lot bigger and there are a lot of bigger name creators, for example, this year was Gerard Way, that was pretty big. It needed a bigger venue essentially, so it's slightly more spread out now. So there was in the town hall, a tent outside the town hall, a tent a little walk away, and another tent. So you had to wander around a bit more, but it meant that they had more people, which was cool. Previously, I've done a lot of panels the last 2 years, whereas I only went to one panel this time. And I think partly it was because I might have missed our train initially. I live in Bristol, but I stayed with my friend who lives in Derby, and then we travelled from Derby to Leeds on the day. So there was a bit of train faff, so we weren't entirely as on time as we had hoped to be. So we missed the Gosh Comics Best Thing I've Read All Year panel, which is usually a firm favourite of mine. I just really like hearing all people's, it gives you something to look out for. It gives you some names to listen out for, that sort of thing. So a bit sad to have missed that. But I did go to Creating Comics from Historical Stories with Hamish Steele and Luke Healy. So that was interesting. They talked a lot about the process of getting published, which was cool. There wasn't as much talk on the actual questions from the person running it about adapting history. But there were a lot of questions from the audience about aspects of adapting history into a comic, which was really interesting because and the idea of non-fiction comics in general. It was super interesting. I'm really glad. For the one panel we did all day, it was the one panel that I really wanted to do, so I'm really, really glad we did that. It was really interesting. I dressed up again this year. Last year me and my friend did quite casual little dress-ups where it was if you know, you'll know who we are, but otherwise we look kind of normal. I wore a wig this year, which I'm not really a fan of because my gingerness is so much a part of my identity that I went as Gem from Gem and the Hologram. So if you saw a girl in a really bad pink wig, it might be me. But I was essentially covered in glitter and had a pink wig and massive triangles of pink on my face, which was really, really cool. My friend dressed as Legion because he's a massive Simon Spurrier fan and Legion is one of his favourites. And the last couple of years he's always bottled it about going to say hi to Simon because he's I just don't know what to say. Whereas this year Simon actually approached him because he recognised that he was Legion and they had a photo together, and Simon was really, really lovely, and that was just a real highlight. Also, the final thing I'll say is that actually this was my first year bringing my partner along with me. He's never been to anything like this before. He doesn't really read a lot of comics, although he sometimes reads some of mine. And that was really fun. He had a really great time, and so some of these acquisitions are not just mine, some of them are what he has bought. And I'm just gonna stop now and just show you all the fabulous things. So in previous years I've come back with quite a lot of stuff because I've bought lots of little comics that tend to be quite art heavy, not a lot of dialogue, and just very small self-contained things that are just beautifully done. So this year I just thought I'd try to buy some more that are more narrative and stuff. So first up is Ody-c Volume 2 Sons of the Wolf by Matt Fraction and Izzi Ward. I have got part 1 of this, and I love part 1 of this because Greek mythology in space is a thing that I never knew I needed so badly in my life. It was really cool to meet Izzi Ward. He did a doodle in the front. He was doing, if you bought it, he would draw you something. So I got one of the characters from this book drawn because I thought she looked really cool. And it's just mesmerising watching him draw because someone in front of me bought 2 of his comics, so he did 2 drawings in theirs, and it's just he's just, squiggles, and then suddenly squiggles turn into a person that looks amazing. So I'm just super excited for this. It's all very sorry, I was going to try and find you an example page, and then I got distracted by how beautiful everything is. It's all so gorgeous and colourful and like psychedelic and vibrant, and it's so cool. I'm really excited to read part 2 of this, and yes. After that is The Girl in the Glim by India Swift and Michael Doig. Is that how I say that? I'm sorry. I don't know what this is about. I'm assuming this is the girl and this is the glim, but my friend has read this and he did an interview with one or both of them for his blog, his comic blog, which he contributes to. I'll link the interview down below. And he just told me, he was like, you are going to love this. It's adorable and it's everything you like. So I'm just going in based on the strength of that recommendation, to be honest. I hope it's going to be really good. I haven't even flicked through it because he sent me like a couple of pictures when he was recommending it. But I'm kind of just going to like dive in, read it as a whole and not really flick through and just see what it's like. I don't know. It looks adorable so far, so I'm quite excited. After that is The Ink Witch by Izzi Ward. I bought Nino off of Izzi on my first thought bubble 2 years ago. I then bought a pin off of her last year, and then I met her where she works, because it turns out she lives in the same city as me, which I didn't realise. And so I saw on social media that she was going to be selling this, and I was really, really excited. I have actually already read this one, and it was so good. There's, just to like tease you, whet your appetite if you will, there are like this really cool moving tattoos in this, there's asexual representation in this, there's just, oh, it's just lovely. It's really, really lovely. I think her art style is gorgeous, and I liked it a lot. Related to that, I bought, as part of a deal, this pin from her as well, which is a little witchy hat that says Queer Witch. I will hold it up here if that makes any difference. Don't know if it did. But yes, I am a pin hoarder, as you shall now see from the next 2 things I'm going to show you. So pin number 2 that I got was from Jen Bartel, and it's this little mermaid, Mermaids Against Misogyny, because I just think Jen Bartel's art is really cool, and she does Gem and the holograms a lot, and I was dressed as Gem, and so it was just like, hello. I didn't really talk to her much because I'm not very good at talking to people who I actually think are very cool. I'm just like, lose my ability to function, so I bought a pin and I ran away. But, you know, quality thought bubble encounter there. The final pin that I bought is actually already on my jacket. Can you see this little Bi Furious pin here? Hello. I bought this off of MJ Wallace because I like bisexual merchandise, and I also like Scott Pilgrim references, and it just seemed like it would fit. Look how well it fits, just along there. So that was super cool. While I've got my jacket out, I'll show you my dad's old Judge Dredd pin from back in the day, which I also managed to show to this awesome guy who looked like the best Judge Dredd I've ever seen. And I got, this is just an anecdote, sorry, but I got my photo taken with him. I sent it to my dad. My dad immediately was like, where are you? What is this? Because he was 100% ready to just leave his house and come and find me and come and meet Judge Dredd and have his picture taken with Judge Dredd and just generally like be all about that. And then I said that I was in Leeds, which is like a 5 to 6 hour train journey from Bristol, and he was a little bit dejected. But you know, props to Dad for being 100% ready to just get himself to Dredd. Back onto comics quickly, I will just show you the things that my partner bought. He bought volumes 1 and 2 of Skies on Fire, which is, he's read them, I haven't yet. Some form of steampunk thing, but when we were there, when we were at the stall of the guy, someone who was an exhibitor, don't know who he was, but he was definitely an exhibitor, would not stop telling us how amazing the world building of this was, in a really nice way, not in like a stop talking to me way, but just in like a yes please tell me more. And he was so enthusiastic about this. It already was like, ooh, let's get that, it looks really cool, but then he just really drove home the fact that apparently it's going to be just so good. So we bought 1 and 2. I know that my boyfriend's already planning on buying the rest of the series because it was super good. They also came with this cool little postcard, which we thought was pretty cool as well. The final comic I have to show you is Brigantia by Chris Moore, Melissa Trender, and Nikki Fox Robot. This was a Kickstarter funded thing. She was telling us all about it. It sounded really, really cool. Me and my boyfriend both like Celtic mythology, like history, all that sort of thing, so this automatically seemed like a cool thing. Also, she's a redhead. Hello. Love me a good Celtic redhead. Boudica, where you at? Dead. But that's beside the point. So yes, we've both read this. It was really good. Definitely want to get more. It's sort of like ancient Celtic goddesses somehow transported to the current time. Well, that is what it is. But it was so great. Also got this cool free poster of her, which is pretty damn awesome. I also got this adorable little comic called Sloth Girl by Laura Collinson, which is about a sloth girl who goes on a journey of self-discovery and self-love. And I love it. I've also read this one. Sloth Girl. I never knew I needed a girl who was a sloth as she journeys to accept and love herself, but I did, and I do, and it was really, really cool. So, I am going to end on 3 prints that I have to show you of varying sizes. I will work from smallest to biggest. So, up first is this adorable one by Genevieve FT. I think that's right. I'll include links to everyone I mention in the description below so that you can check everyone out. I thought this was precious. There was a massive queue of people who were queuing to meet the Wicked and the Divine people, and I just sort of like squirreled my way through whilst apologising profusely because I spotted this woman's art and it was beautiful. I didn't have enough money left to buy. I only had enough for this, but she does gorgeous prints that are all bodies are good bodies, with beautiful, beautiful colours, and I just love the way she draws people. I think it's both like precious and just like utterly divine. So I thought this, because this is going to go on the shelf behind me next to my previous year's thought bubble thing, it's just too cute. And now I follow her on Instagram and it's just lighting up my feed. Penultimate thing is this lovely print by Charlotte Grange. I walked past this, spotted these gorgeous copper bits, and made a mental note, and I was like, I am coming back. Because our method is that the first time we go around each tent we don't buy anything, just because there's so much stuff, that we do like a circle of everything just to get a sense of like, okay, how do I need to pace my spending? And then you like go back and buy the things that you're like, that is what I need. And this was one of them. It's just so flipping beautiful. I can't handle it. Okay, so final thing is something that I am getting framed because I recently moved into this flat. We have assigned a peg in the bedroom which is going to be a thought bubble print, and this is the thought bubble print. This is by Tuisku. I think that's right. I hope I've said it right. Sorry if I haven't. I thought it was beautiful. It's the 3 graces. I love the colours, but I also love like the interconnectedness, the way that the colours move and just shows how they're joined. There's like classical mythology nods and vibes going on, but also in like a quite a up-to-date modern style and colour scheme. And I spotted it, I eagle-eyed, I double-taked. I think the woman at the table saw me do a double-take as I was then like pulled away by the crowd of my friends, and I was like, I am coming back for that print, I'm coming for it. And it's beautiful, and I'm so happy with it, and it's going to sit on my wall and be delightful and beautiful. Yes. Thought Bubble is so much fun. If you're into comics and you live in the UK and you've never been, I would 100% recommend it. I'm going to leave another link in the description below, all chock-a-full. But this time last year I did a podcast episode on my podcast where we talked to a whole bunch of artists and writers and stuff like this who were exhibiting at Thought Bubble about why they like the festival, why it's got such an interesting and unique vibe to it, all these sorts of things. I'll leave a link to that below, so if you're in any way wondering if it's for you, maybe have a listen, see if it sounds like the sort of thing you'd be interested in. Personally, I had a great time. I'm 100% planning on being there again next year. Who knows if I'll dress up this time, because no one really knew who I was, but I got a lot of compliments on what I was wearing, because I took my wig off after like an hour or two because it was itchy and annoying. And just people just like the outfit, so I might just cover myself in glitter again and just go as my usual glittery self rather than in character. Who knows? So yeah, if you see a ginger covered in glitter next year, probably me. I hope that if you are at Thought Bubble you had the most amazing time. I hope you've come back with lots and lots of goodies, and there will be reviews of all of the stuff I've talked about to come in further book chats and stuff like that once I've read them. I'm just going to stop talking now. I hope you have a really lovely week, and I will see you next time.